You have heard the truth. Now you have two options. You can turn off this audio, go back to your routine, turn on the news and forget what you have heard. You can go back to sleep in the victim's dream. It is comfortable. It is known. Or you can dare to test it. Do not believe me. Do not believe Neville Goddard. Do not believe any book. Prove it. Test yourself tonight. Choose a desire. Imagine it. Fall asleep in the assumption that it is already yours, and observe what happens. The Creator does not ask for blind faith. He asks for experimentation. If this message has lit a spark in your soul, it is because you were ready. It is no coincidence that you have reached the end of this audio. You have brought yourself here. You have manifested this book to remind you who you are. Now seal your commitment. Subscribe to this channel. Not to help me, but to keep yourself connected to this frequency. You will need reminders. The world will try to put you back to sleep. We are here to keep you awake, like this video. It is a psychomagical act. You tell the universe algorithm, I accept this, I want more of this. Write in the comments, decree your new identity. Write, I am the operator. Leave your mark, declare it to the world. Chapter 1, The Law of Circulation, Inhale and Exhale. Take a test right now. I want you to inhale. Fill your lungs to the maximum. Feel your chest expand. Feel the vital oxygen entering your blood. It's a wonderful sensation, isn't it? It is life entering you. Now, try to hold it. Do not let it go. I have a proposal for you. I want you to inhale more, without exhaling. Go ahead. Inhale more. Force more air on top of the air you already have. You can't? Does your chest hurt? Do you feel like you're going to faint? Do you feel the panic of your cells screaming for release? Of course you do, because you are violating the first law of life, the law of circulation. Your body knows with an instinctive wisdom that your mind has forgotten that in order to receive the next breath of life, you must release the previous one. It doesn't matter how much you love that oxygen inside you. It doesn't matter how much you need it. If you don't release it, it kills you. The same air that gives you life, if held beyond its cycle, becomes carbon dioxide. It becomes toxic. It becomes poison. However you look at your financial life, your love life, and your material life, and you do exactly what you cannot do with your lungs. You try to inhale without exhaling. You try to accumulate money without spending. You try to receive love without giving freedom. You try to fill your house with new things without throwing away the old ones. You have become an energy hoarder, and you wonder why you feel suffocated when stagnant or toxic. You are poisoning yourself with your own retention. Welcome to the flow. Welcome to the river of reality. 1. The biology of the universe. Everything is flow. To understand the law of the void, you must first understand that the universe is not a static warehouse. It is a dynamic dance. Nothing in creation is still. The blood in your veins must circulate to keep you alive. If it stops, it clots and you die. Electricity must flow through the wire to turn on the light. If the circuit is cut, there is darkness. Water must run to be drinkable. If it stagnates in a puddle, it breeds mosquitoes, bacteria, and rot. You are part of nature. You are not exempt from this law. You are a channel, not a dam. The function of a channel is to allow the flow to pass through it. The function of a dam is to stop the flow. When you act from the fear of scarcity, you become a dam. You close the floodgates. You say, what I have is mine. I won't let it out. I will protect it. At first, the water level, your wealth, your things, seems to rise. You feel safe looking at your accumulation behind the wall. But stagnant water begins to rot. Pressure increases against the walls of your mind. Anxiety appears. The fear of losing it appears. Illness appears. And worst of all, by closing the exit, you have blocked the entrance. The river of divine abundance keeps flowing up there, but it cannot enter your dam because it is already full of old, rotten water. There is no room for fresh water. For fresh water to enter, the exit gates must be open. You must be willing to let go of what you have to receive what you need. 2. The parable of the two seas. In the Holy Land, there are two lakes fed by the same river, the Jordan River. Both receive the same water. Both are under the same sun, but one is full of life, and the other is dead. The first is the Sea of Galilee. It receives water from the Jordan in the north and lets it out in the south. Water comes in and water goes out. Thanks to this movement, the lake is full of fish, vegetation, and life. It is a vibrant and healthy mirror of water. The second is the Dead Sea. It receives the same water from the Jordan. It receives it greedily. But the Dead Sea is geographically lower than any other point. It has no outlet. It retains every drop it receives. It shares nothing. It keeps it all. The result? The water evaporates, but the minerals stay and concentrate. It becomes so salty, so dense, and so toxic that there is no life in it. It is a liquid cemetery. Analyze your life. Are you the Sea of Galilee or are you the Dead Sea? Are you someone who allows energy, money, love, talent to enter and exit freely? Or are you someone who receives and retains? The person who only wants to receive, receive, receive and never gives, never lets go and never shares, ends up like the Dead Sea, bitter, salty, stagnant and alone. Life flees from where there is no circulation. 3. Archaic fear, the illusion of scarcity. Why is it so hard for us to exhale? Why is it so difficult to throw away that old sweater? Or spend that money on a trip? Or forgive that offense? Because we have a reptilian brain programmed for scarcity. For thousands of years, our ancestors lived in a world where there were no guarantees. If you found food, you ate it all or stored it, because you didn't know when you would eat again. That biological survival program is still active in you. It tells you, save it. Don't throw it away. You might need it. The future is dangerous. But today, you are not a caveman surviving the winter. You are a conscious creator operating under metaphysical laws. And in metaphysics, retention is a declaration of poverty. Every time you keep something, just in case things go wrong in the future, you are planning your own failure. You are using your imagination to create a scenario of need, and you are keeping objects as props for that scenario. You save old clothes for when I don't have money to buy new ones. Down, right arrow, you are decreeing that you won't have money. You save leftover medicine for when I get sick again. Dafa night arrow, you are decreeing your next illness. You are investing your faith in misfortune, and the universe, which is a faithful mirror, looks at your preparation and says, "Ah, I see you are preparing for poverty and illness. Very well, I will send them to you so you can use all those old things you saved." To activate prosperity, you must prove to your subconscious that you are not afraid of the future, and the best way to prove it is by letting go of the past. 4. Money as an energetic current. Let's apply this to the area where it hurts the most, the pocket. The word currency comes from the Latin currere, which means to run or to flow. Money, by definition, must move. Money is like the blood of the economic body. If it accumulates in one place and stops, it causes necrosis. Observe the stingy. I'm not talking about people who save with purpose, but people who suffer when they spend. Their energy is grey. They often have health problems related to retention and rigidity. They have money saved, yes, but they have no prosperity. They live in fear of losing it. They are slaves to what they retain. If you don't open the valve voluntarily, spending, giving, investing, enjoying, the universe will burst the pipe so the energy can get out. The law of circulation will be fulfilled one way or another. The Creator prefers the easy way. The Creator spends with a blessing. When paying a bill, they say, "Thank you for this service. I send this money back into the world to feed others. It returns to me multiplied." 5. The breath of the soul, giving and receiving. Many spiritual people have the opposite problem. They know how to exhale, give, but they don't know how to inhale, receive. They give everything but feel guilty when receiving. This is also a violation of the law of circulation. If you only exhale, you die just as if you only inhale. Refusing to receive is an act of arrogance. By refusing, you rob the other person of the joy of giving. You are becoming a martyr, not a channel. The perfect balance is rhythmic breathing. Give with generosity, receive with gratitude, release the old, accept the new. Understand that you are not the owner of the energy, but the manager of the energy. 6. Invisible stagnation, ideas and emotions. Circulation is not just physical. How many old ideas do you have in your head? How many times do you repeat the same stories of your past? Those stories are stale air in your mental lungs. As long as you keep repeating the story of your trauma, there is no room for the story of your victory. You must exhale your story. You must stop telling it. You have to become voluntarily amnesiac. Create a narrative void so that God can write a new script. 7. Signs that you are blocked. How do you know if you are violating the law of circulation? The universe gives you clear symptoms. Physical clutter. Your house is chaos. External mess reflects internal constipation. Chronic fatigue. Energy doesn't flow. It's like walking in a swamp. Resentment. You replay mental arguments with people who aren't there. Economic stagnation. Money flies out through leaks or doesn't come in at all. If you have these symptoms, you don't need more learning or marketing strategies. You need a spiritual laxative. You need to let go. 8. The first step. Open the windows. Where do we start? With the simplest thing. Today, right now, I want you to perform a symbolic act of circulation. Open the windows of your house, literally. Let the old air out and the new air in. As you do, say, I change the atmosphere of my life. Then go to your wallet, take out a bill, whatever you can, and give it to someone, a street musician, an extra tip, or just leave it on a park bench with a note. Do it just to break the fear. Do it to prove to yourself that money flows through you. Laugh at the voice of resistance. Feel the small void that remains, and observe with a child's curiosity how long it takes for the universe to fill it. Because I promise you, by the laws that govern the stars, it will be filled. You cannot give without receiving. It is automatic. It is inevitable. Chapter 2. The physical void, the ritual of space. Your physical environment is not neutral. Your house is not just a brick container where you sleep. Your home is an external extension of your internal body. It is your second skin. And what is happening in your house is happening in your mind. If your room is chaos, your mind is chaos. If your drawers are jammed, your finances are jammed. If you keep broken objects, your self-esteem is broken. You cannot expect to have a life of clarity, fluidity, and wealth if you live in a setting designed for confusion, stagnation, and poverty. Welcome to the ritual of space. Today we are going to stop seeing cleaning as a boring domestic chore. Today you will understand that cleaning is the fastest, cheapest, and most effective way to perform magic. When you move matter with intention, you move energy. When you take out the physical trash, you take out the emotional trash. In this chapter, we will walk through your physical temple. We will identify the energy vampires disguised as furniture and memories. And we will apply the law of the void with a necessary and liberating cruelty. Einstein taught us that E cram MC2 matter is energy that has lowered its vibration until it becomes dense and visible. Every object you own is a vibrating package of energy, and most importantly, every object has an invisible thread connected to your energetic navel, your solar plexus. Imagine you are a hot air balloon that wants to rise towards success, love, and freedom. Every object you own is a small sandbag tied to your basket. A few bags are necessary: your bed, your essential clothes, your tools. They give you stability. But you have thousands of bags. You have bags of things you don't use, bags of things you don't like, bags of things that bring back bad memories. You have so many threads connected to your energy that you cannot move. You feel chronically tired. You get home and feel your energy drop to the floor. It's not physical fatigue, it's vibrational drainage. Your possessions possess you. Everything that does not serve you serves you as a jailer. It requires your attention, even unconsciously. It requires cleaning. It requires space. It requires worry. To rise, you need to cut the cords. You need to lighten the load. The law of the physical void dictates, if an object is not useful to you or does not seem beautiful to you, it is an obstacle in your vital flow. Let's go to the root of the problem. Open that junk drawer. Open that overflowing closet. Why do you keep all that? If I ask you about that old, worn-out jacket you haven't worn in 3 years, you'll tell me, it's still good. I'm keeping it just in case I need it for painting or going to the countryside. Stop right there. Analyze that phrase, just in case. What does it really mean? It means, I don't trust that in the future I will have money to buy a new jacket if I need one. I foresee a future of scarcity where I will have to dress in old rags, so I'd better keep this. Just in case is the mantra of poverty. It is a bet against yourself. You are decreeing with your objects that your future will be worse than your present, and since the universe is obedient, it will prove you right. It will create an emergency where you have to use those old clothes because you won't have money for anything else. The Creator does not live just in case. The Creator lives in the certainty of providence. If I throw something old away today and need it tomorrow, I have the absolute certainty that I will have the means to buy a new and better one. Throwing away the old is an act of divine arrogance. It is telling the universe, I have high standards. I do not accept keeping trash out of fear. I know I will always be covered. Let's continue the tour. Go to your kitchen, look at your mugs. Is there one with a chipped rim? Look at your plates. Is one scratched or old? Look at your towels. Are they frayed? Look at your electronics. Do you have a cable held together with electrical tape? Listen closely. Having broken objects at home is vibrational suicide. Every time you drink from a chipped cup, your subconscious receives a subliminal message. I deserve broken things. I deserve to be hurt. My life is imperfect. I am not worth enough to replace this with something whole. Tolerating the broken is tolerating mediocrity in your life. If you accept a toaster that malfunctions, and you have to hit it to make it start, you are training your mind to accept relationships that malfunction, jobs that malfunction, and health that malfunctions. You are normalizing the defect. The law of the void demands, repair it or toss it. There is no middle ground. Do not leave things waiting to be fixed for months. Those pending items are mental energy leaks. Every time you see them, you feel a pang of guilt. That accumulated guilt exhausts you. If you aren't going to fix it this week, throw it out today. Drink your coffee from a perfect cup. Surround yourself with physical integrity to manifest spiritual integrity. We have reached the emotionally mined zone. That hideous vase your aunt gave you. That heavy, dark piece of furniture you inherited from your grandmother. Those wedding favors from people who are already divorced. You don't like them. They don't fit your style. They bother you visually, but you don't throw them away. Why? Because of guilt. But it was a gift. But it belonged to Grandma. But it cost a lot of money. You are allowing other people's emotions, even dead people's, to colonize your vital space. Your house is not a warehouse for other people's expectations. Your house is your temple. Keeping an object out of guilt turns that object into an emitter of negative radiation. Every time you see that ugly painting, you feel a micro-contraction in your stomach. You feel obligation. You feel a lack of freedom. That vibration, repeated 1,000 times a day, creates a heavy atmosphere in your home. You have to be ruthless. The purpose of a gift is fulfilled the moment it is given. The person felt joy in giving it, and you in receiving it. Mission accomplished. After that moment, the object is yours. You have total sovereignty over it. If it doesn't lift you up, it goes. You honor your ancestors more by living a full and free life than by turning your house into a dusty mausoleum. Take the guilt out to the trash along with the object. Reclaim your territory. Let's go to your closet. This is the epicenter of your self-image. Your clothes are your costume. They are the skin you choose to wear to tell the world who you are. Open the doors. What do you see? Do you see the clothes of the successful, attractive, and confident person you want to be? Or do you see the clothes of yourself from the past? Many keep clothes from 10 years ago. You keep the pants from when I was skinny. Every time you open the closet and see them, they insult you. They say, you're fat, you failed, you don't fit here. You keep the clothes from when I was a poor student. You keep around the house clothes full of holes. Listen to this. Never dress for the person you were. Dress for the person you are going to be. If you want to be a successful executive, you cannot own the pajamas of a depressed teenager. Even if no one sees you, you see you. If you want to attract quality love, you cannot wear old ugly underwear. Underwear is your power secret. If you wear rags underneath, you vibrate in, I don't deserve to be undressed. The closet ritual. Take everything out. Absolutely everything. Toss it on the bed. Take each garment one by one and ask yourself a metaphysical question. Does this garment vibrate at the frequency of my ideal future? If the answer is no, goodbye. It doesn't matter if it was expensive. If it doesn't vibrate with you, it's a burden. Donate it. Only keep what makes you feel powerful, beautiful, and wealthy. It is better to have 5 excellent outfits that make you feel like a god than 50 rags that make you feel like an extra in a sad movie. Papers, old bills, university notes from 20 years ago, old magazines, instruction manuals for gadgets you no longer own. Paper is the enemy of mental flow. Paper represents pending business. Having piles of paper creates a sense of subconscious overwhelm. Your mind registers every paper as an unfinished task. The creator digitalizes and destroys. If it isn't a vital legal document, toss it. Throw away old magazines, dead news. Clean your flat surfaces. A clear table is a landing strip for new ideas. A table full of papers is a monument to procrastination. Now that you know what to throw away, let's talk about how to clean. Physical cleaning can be a transcendental meditation if you put intention into it. Don't clean with anger. I hate having to do this. Clean with magic. Imagine your broom is a magic wand sweeping away not just dust, but dense energy. Imagine that as you scrub the floor, you are purifying the foundation of your life. Imagine that as you clean the window panes, you are clearing your vision of the future. The cleaning mantra. While you clean, repeat mentally, I am cleaning my mind. I am removing poverty from my life. I am preparing my palace for the arrival of the king, your desire. Do it with joyful music. Do it with incense. Do it with the windows open. Turn cleaning into a welcome party for your new life. When you finish, not only will your house shine, you will feel a rush of endorphins and mental clarity that no drug can match. You will have moved tons of stagnant energy. You will have created a vortex of void. A specific and critical point. Look under your bed. What's there? Old suitcases, shoes, dust boxes, the vacuum cleaner? You spend a third of your life sleeping over that. Your nightly energetic field, when you are most vulnerable and program your subconscious, is floating over that trash. If you have work items under the bed, you will sleep stressed. If you have shoes, energy of walking, movement, you won't rest well. If you have things from the past, photos of exes, mementos, you will sleep with ghosts. The law of the void recommends nothing under the bed. Let the air, chi, prana, circulate freely under your body while you sleep. This will give you clearer dreams, deeper rest, and a feeling of being suspended in the air without negative anchors. If you must store something due to lack of space, let it be soft, clean bedding, no hard, broken, or emotional objects. I'm going to warn you about something that will happen. It is almost a scientific law. The moment you perform this radical cleaning, the moment you throw out those trash bags and see the empty space, you will feel 2 things. 1. Panic. Your ego will scream, we're left with nothing. 2. Miracle. Within 24 to 72 hours, something new will arrive. It's amazing. You throw away old shoes and suddenly someone gifts you new ones, or you find an incredible deal. You toss the papers of a failed project and an email arrives with a new proposal. You clean the side of the bed that belongs to a partner, making space, and you meet someone. The universe cannot resist. It's as if you've put up a giant neon sign that says, space available for rent. And since you've raised your vibration by cleaning, you no longer accept the broken or the old. The new tenants that arrive will be of higher quality. You won't replace trash with trash, you will replace the good with the excellent. Chapter 3. Mental Void, Removing Cognitive Trash. Imagine you want to paint the Mona Lisa. You have the brush, the colors, and the talent, but when you approach the canvas, you discover it is not blank. It is covered in shopping lists, old phone numbers, and coffee stains. Not a millimeter of white space remains. What do? Do you paint your masterpiece on top of that mess? If you do, the result will be a brown, confusing smudge. No one will see the Mona Lisa. They will only see chaos. Your mind is that canvas, and the life you wish to manifest is the masterpiece. But your mental canvas is filthy. It is saturated. You have spent years accumulating useless information, outdated beliefs from your parents, school traumas, and news of tragedies that do not concern you. You are an intellectual hoarder. You suffer from mental compulsive accumulation syndrome. You are afraid to forget, afraid not to know, afraid of silence. Because of this, divine inspiration cannot enter. It has nowhere to land. Your mind is a hotel where every room is occupied by noisy, dirty guests. God arrives at the front desk and the sign says, full. Welcome to the mental void. Today we are cleaning the attic. We are clearing space for new code. A famous Zen story perfectly illustrates your current situation. A proud university professor visited a Zen master to ask about enlightenment. The professor would not stop talking, explaining everything he had read, his titles, and his theories on metaphysics. The Zen master listened in silence. The master began to serve tea. He filled the professor's cup, but when the cup was full, he did not stop. He kept pouring. Tea overflowed onto the table and the professor's pants. The professor shouted, "Master, stop! Don't you see the cup is full? Nothing else fits." The master smiled and put down the teapot. "Exactly. Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I teach you anything new if you do not first empty your cup?" You are that professor. You come to this audiobook seeking the secret, but you go with a full cup. A part of your mind is already judging and criticizing. That critical voice is the tea overflowing. Your intellectual arrogance prevents you from learning. To make the law of the void work, you must practice radical humility. Admit, what I know has brought me here. If I want to go somewhere else, I must stop knowing what I know. Old knowledge created your current situation. To leave it, you need voluntary ignorance. You need to become a child again. You need beginner's mind, Shoshin. Only in the void of I don't know can the wisdom of now I understand enter. Only then can the infinite intelligence begin to work through you and rewrite your reality from scratch. We live in the age of information, which is actually the age of intoxication. Your brain was not designed to process a global disaster, a political scandal, and an influencer's life all in a 30-second scroll. That is a mental violation. You are filling your subconscious with high-speed trash. Every image you see and every headline you read occupies space in your RAM. Your creative energy is wasted processing that noise. You reach the end of the day exhausted without having done anything physical. You are tired from processing junk data. The creator imposes an information fast. You must close the entries. The digital silence protocol. For the next 7 days, I challenge you to this. Zero news. Do not watch news, read papers, or open portals. 99% of news is irrelevant and designed to generate fear, cortisol. Fear occupies the space of faith. If the world ends, your neighbor's screams will let you know. Clean your social media. Unfollow any account that makes you feel envy, inadequacy, or anger. If it does not inspire or educate you, it is trash. Delete it. Turn off notifications. Your phone should not ring every time someone likes a photo. You are the master of your attention, not an algorithm. At first, you will feel anxiety, dopamine withdrawal. Your brain will beg for its dose of noise. But if you hold out, by the 3rd day, the miracle will happen. Your mind will clear. You will start having your own ideas. The voice of your intuition will become a clear shout. Silence allows the inner signal to arrive. Look at the furniture bolted to your mental floor, your beliefs. A belief is not a truth, it is just a thought you have repeated until it's solidified. Many are not even yours. They are inheritances from parents or teachers. Money is hard to earn. All men are the same. You must suffer to deserve. This furniture occupies immense space. Where the money is hard couch sits, the money flows easily chair cannot fit. Two contradictory beliefs cannot occupy the same spot. To install new prosperity software, you must uninstall the old scarcity software. You cannot have both running at the same time. The demolition exercise. Take a piece of paper. Write down your limiting beliefs. Bring them out of the darkness and into the light. Read them aloud and ask, is this belief absolute truth or just an opinion I learned? You will realize it is just an opinion. Others earn easily, others find love at 80. It is not a physical law, it is a mental choice. Now cross out that belief, rip it up. In the void it leaves, write the new one. But remember, for the new to enter, the old must die. You must be willing to be wrong. The ego prefers to be right and poor rather than wrong and rich. The creator chooses wealth. The most dangerous enemy of the mental void is, I already know. When you hear a spiritual truth and say, I already know, you close the door. The mind shuts down. It stops searching. If you actually knew it, you would be living it. In the Creator's world, knowing and being are the same thing. If you are not rich, you do not know how to create wealth. You have information about it, but not wisdom. Saying, "I already know," is putting a cement lid on your cup. Transform it into, "What else is here for me?" Adopt eternal curiosity. Read the same book 5 times. Let knowledge enter fresh every time. Empty yourself of titles, past courses, and intellectual pride. Show up to life as a first-day student, always. The universe adores apprentices and detests know-it-alls. To apprentices, it gives masters. To know-it-alls, it gives lessons in humility. Be willing to unlearn everything you think defines you. Why are we so afraid of silence? Why do we turn on the TV the moment we get home? Because silence is a mirror. In silence, mental noise becomes evident. You meet yourself, and sometimes you don't like what you see. Noise is an anesthetic used to drown out the inner void that screams something is wrong. But the law of the void says, only in absolute silence can the voice of God be heard. Intuition does not shout, it whispers. The solution to your $1 million problem is being whispered right now, but you can't hear it over your podcasts. You must create sanctuaries of silence. Empty your day of acoustic noise. Drive without the radio. Walk without headphones. Sit for 10 minutes a day staring at a white wall. Your mind will rebel and shout absurd thoughts to fill the gap. Let it shout. Don't engage. Wait. After the chaos comes the calm, and in that calm, the idea appears. Nietzsche said, "Blessed are the forgetful, for they get the better even of their blunders." We usually pride ourselves on a good memory. But for the Creator, the ability to forget is more valuable. If you remember every failure in detail, you are filling your present with the past. You are occupying who I am now with who I was yesterday. Practice selective amnesia. Decide to forget. It is an active decision. When the memory of a past failure comes, say, "File deleted." That doesn't exist. Deny its current reality. Take away your attention. Make space in your RAM. If you empty your mind of failure, the subconscious assumes you are a winner. A winner doesn't live remembering defeats, they live planning victories. Use forgetting as a cleaning tool. Sweep the tracks behind you so you cannot turn back. Free your mind from the weight of old identities. Finally, the mental void has a magical purpose: surprise. If your mind is full of rigid expectations on how things must happen, you leave no room for the universe to surprise you. I want a partner, but he must be blonde, a doctor, and we must meet in a park. You are micromanaging God. You are suffocating the magic with details. The law of the mental void implies letting go of the how. Empty your mind of rigid expectations. Hold the what, I want love, but leave the how blank. Leave that space in the script. Tell the universe, here is a blank page. Surprise me. When you let go of mental control and stop trying to predict every step, you create a void of authority that allows higher intelligence to take over. Higher intelligence always has plans that are bigger, faster, and more fun than your small logical mind could ever conceive. Trust the empty space. Chapter 4, The Emotional Void, the Business of Forgiveness. There is a man walking through the desert. He wants to reach the oasis, but he is carrying a sack on his back. The sack smells foul. It leaks a black liquid. It is full of sharp stones and rotting meat. The man is exhausted. His knees are trembling. Someone asks him, "Why are you carrying that?" And the man responds, "Because it's mine. Because these stones are the times they hurt me. This rotting meat is the memory of who betrayed me. I cannot let it go. If I let go, they win. If I let go, they get away with it. I have to carry it to remember that I am a victim." You are that man. You are that woman. You walk toward your desire for happiness, wealth, and love, but you are carrying an emotional corpse. You carry the corpse of your ex, the corpse of the father who criticized you, the corpse of the partner who robbed you, the corpse of your own guilt over past mistakes. They weigh tons, they steal your oxygen, and worst of all, they occupy all the space in your heart. Where there is a corpse, a baby cannot be born. Where there is resentment, grace cannot enter. Welcome to the Emotional Void. Today we are going to talk about forgiveness, but I'm not going to talk to you like a priest asking you to be good. I'm not interested in your goodness. I'm interested in your freedom. I'm going to talk to you like an accountant, like a strategist. We are going to analyze the opportunity cost of hatred. You will discover that forgiveness is not an act of love toward the other. It is an act of radical self-love and a multi-million-dollar business for your soul. Your psyche is a piece of luxury real estate. You have a limited amount of emotional energy and mental attention each day. Imagine your mind is a 5-star hotel. To whom are you allowing the presidential suite? If you hate someone, if you have an active resentment toward a person who hurt you 5 years ago, that person is living in your presidential suite. And the worst part, they live for free. They don't pay rent. On the contrary, you pay them. You pay them with your sleep, insomnia. You pay them with your health, cortisol, ulcers, high blood pressure. You pay them with your joy. You pay them with your future. Think about it coldly. That person might be at home, happy, watching TV without even remembering you. And you are here, bitter, replaying the conversation, going over the offense, sending them mental poison. Who is losing? Who is drinking poison and expecting the other person to die? The law of the emotional void dictates, evict the squatters of your soul. Your attention is too expensive to give away to your executioners. You have to kick them out, not because they deserve it, but because you need the room free. You need that presidential suite to house your new project, your new love, your peace of mind. While the squatter of resentment is there, the guest of abundance will wait in the street. Why is it so hard to let go of pain? Because pain gives us something the ego loves, identity. Saying I am a victim is seductive. It gives you a perfect excuse not to succeed. I'm not rich because my father didn't support me. I don't have a partner because everyone betrays. Pain is your alibi. Or, as long as you hold on to resentment, you don't have to take responsibility for your life today. You can blame the past. The emotional void requires courage because, by letting go of resentment, you also let go of the excuse. If you forgive everyone, you are left alone in front of the mirror. There are no more culprits, only you and your capacity to create remain, and that is terrifying. But the Creator knows that the victim never sits on the throne. The victim asks for alms and compassion. The Creator decrees and moves forward. You have to choose today. Do you want to be right? Look what they did to me. Or do you want to be happy? You cannot have both. To be happy, you have to renounce the right to be offended. You have to empty yourself of your sad story. Let's change the paradigm. Stop seeing forgiveness as something moral or spiritual. View it as an accounting operation. When someone hurts you, you feel they owe you something. They owe you an apology. They owe you a repair. They owe you the years you lost. They owe you money. You carry a mental ledger where you record all those debts. You carry that ledger under your arm everywhere. You are waiting to collect. But the reality is that they are never going to pay you. That person cannot give you back the time. They cannot undo the damage, and many times, they don't even want to apologize. So you stay there, standing at the collection window, waiting for a payment that will not come while life passes you by. Forgiveness is simply taking that ledger, looking at the enormous debt and stamping it with a giant red seal that says, cancelled. You declare the debt uncollectible. You say, I assume the loss, I close the account. You owe me nothing. You are free, and I am free. By cancelling the debt, you stop waiting. You stop being tied to the debtor. You reclaim your energy. And here comes the metaphysical magic. The universe detests a vacuum. When you cancel an emotional debt and accept the loss with peace, the universal bank assumes the debt. God says, child, you have forgiven your brother's debt. You have created a void. I will pay you what he did not, and I will pay you with interest. Restitution never comes from the one who hurt you. It comes from the source. But the source only pays you when you have stopped trying to collect from the human. Let's talk about the fantasy of revenge. You think that if you get revenge, you will feel better. You think you will balance the scales. Confucius said, before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves, one for your enemy and one for yourself. Vibrationally, revenge ties you to the frequency of the offense. If someone attacks you, low vibration, and you respond with revenge, low vibration, you get trapped in the basement with them. You wallow in the mud together. You think you win, but you lose, because you lower your frequency to the level of the aggressor. The best revenge is massive success and total indifference. The best revenge is to be so happy, so radiant and so prosperous that the existence of the aggressor becomes irrelevant to you. That is creating a void. It is erasing them from your map, not wishing them ill, but wishing them nothing. It is absolute neutrality. When you reach the point where you remember the name of the one who hurt you and you feel nothing, not love, not hate, just nothing, then you are free. You have emptied the poison. This principle is critical for love. Many people want a new partner, but their energetic bed is occupied. They sleep with the ghost of their ex. They compare all the new ones to the ex. He's not as funny as he was. She cooked better. Or they keep hating the ex. Everyone is a pig like my ex. If your heart is full of your ex, whether through nostalgic love or active hatred, there is no vacancy. When you meet someone new, that person intuitively perceives that there is no room. They feel there is a crowd in the relationship, and they leave. The law of the void demands an emotional exorcism. You have to kick the ghost out. You have to throw away the photos, delete the messages, stop stalking them on social media, and you have to go through the final mourning. Say goodbye. Thank you for what I learned. I return your energy and I reclaim mine. I cut the bond. Now my bed is empty and ready for a new and superior love. Do not be afraid to be alone for a while. That void between one relationship and another is sacred. It is the cleaning time. If you jump from one relationship to another without creating the void, you just drag the trash from relationship A to relationship B. Give yourself the gift of solitude to heal and recalibrate. Sometimes the emotional void hurts. Letting go hurts. Losing someone hurts. Toxic positivity tells you, don't cry, vibrate high, smile. That is trash. That is repression. And what is repressed rots. An unprocessed grief is a plug in the emotional pipe. To create a void, sometimes you have to cry until you are dry. Crying is a biological cleansing mechanism. Tears expel stress hormones. If you feel like crying, cry. But don't cry as a victim. Poor me. Cry as a cleaning. I am getting this out. Cry with the intention of emptying. Imagine that each tear is a bit of black pain leaving your body. Shout if necessary. Hit a pillow. Empty yourself of the sadness. Stay with nothing inside. And when you finish crying, stand up, wash your face, open the window and say, that's it. I have paid the tribute to pain. Now I am empty and ready for joy. You will see that after a storm of conscious crying, a supernatural calm and clarity arrive. The sky only clears after it rains. How do we make this practical? Your mind needs a ritual to understand that it's over. We are going to use the fire letter technique. 1. Sit alone. Take paper and a pen, not digital, it must be physical. 2. Write a letter to the person or situation you need to let go of. Vomit everything. Do not be polite. Write the insults, the pain, the rage. Write everything you never said. I hate you for this. It hurt when... 3. Get all the poison out. Write until you have nothing left to say. 4. At the end of the letter, write in large letters, this debt is paid, I release you and I release myself. You no longer have power over me, goodbye. 5. Now the most important part, burn it. Do not send it, do not save it, burn it in a safe place. Watch the paper turn to ash. Watch the words of pain disappear in the fire. Fire transmutes. As it burns, feel the energetic bond being cut. Feel the void left in your stomach. Flush the ashes down the toilet. It's gone. Physically and symbolically, it's gone. Finally, the most difficult tenant to evict, yourself. Sometimes we forgive others, but we torture ourselves for our own mistakes. If I hadn't done that, I was so stupid. I lost my chance. Guilt is an acid that corrodes the container that holds it. Guilt is the ego saying, I am so powerful that my mistake is unforgivable. Get off that pedestal. You are human, you came here to learn. Error is the learning method of the universe. Judging your past self with the wisdom of your present self is unfair. Your past self did the best they could with the level of consciousness they had then. You couldn't know what you know today. The law of the void requires that you forgive yourself. You have to empty yourself of guilt to fill yourself with dignity. Look in the mirror and say, I forgive you. You did the best you could. Thanks to that mistake, I learned and I am who I am today. The mistake has been paid for with my learning. I am innocent. Declare yourself innocent. The universe does not judge. It is you who judges yourself. If you absolve yourself, heaven absolves you. Drop the backpack of stones. You no longer need to punish yourself. When you practice radical emotional void, you will reach a strange point. You will think about the trauma or the person, and you will feel nothing. Not pain, not rage, not even affection. Simply nothing. It's like thinking about a chair. At first, this is scary. We think, have I become insensitive? Am I a robot? No. You have become healthy. Health is the silence of the organs. You don't feel your liver unless it's sick. If you don't feel the past relationship, it's because it has healed. That nothing, that neutral void, is the state of 0 point. It is the blank canvas. From that 0 point you can create anything. Don't try to force emotions where they no longer exist. Enjoy the peace of neutrality. It is the silence before the new music. Chapter 5. The Economic Void, the Art of Spending Without Fear. There is a silent disease that keeps people poor. It is not the lack of jobs. It is not the country's economy. It is not bad luck. The disease is called financial constipation. It consists of a paralyzing terror of letting go of money. It consists of looking at the price of everything before looking at the value. It consists of feeling a physical pain in your stomach every time you have to pay a bill. It consists of retaining, hoarding, hiding, and squeezing every cent as if it were the universe's last bit of oxygen. The person suffering from this disease believes they are being prudent. They believe they are saving. But the Creator knows the truth. They are committing economic suicide. Because in the realm of energy, money that does not move dies. Stagnant money rots, just like water, just like blood. If you want wealth, you have to stop treating money as a god to be worshipped and protected, and start treating it as what it is, a current. If you want more electricity in your house, you cannot plug up the sockets. You have to let the energy flow. You have to learn to create an economic void. Welcome to the art of spending without fear. Today, we are going to reprogram your relationship with the transaction. You are going to learn that every payment is a sowing. Let's start by tearing down a sacred myth, saving. We have been taught that saving is virtuous. It depends. From what emotion are you saving? There are 2 types of savings. Investment savings, expansion. You put money aside to buy a house, to invest in a business, to multiply your capital. The base emotion is, I am building. Emergency savings, contraction. You put money aside just in case. For if I get sick, if I get fired, if lean times come. The base emotion is, I am afraid of the future. 90% of people save out of fear. And here the law of assumption enters. What you prepare for is what you attract. If you have a bank account vibrationally labeled for emergencies, the universe, which always wants to prove you right, will send you an emergency. The car will break down. You will get a cavity. A pipe will burst. Why? Because you have the money reserved for that. You have created a disaster fund, and the fund demands to be used. The law of the economic void says, do not accumulate stagnant money out of fear. Make it circulate. The Creator does not save for lean times. They invest to have so much abundance that meat is never lacking. Analyze your body when you pay a bill. The electricity or rent receipt arrives. What do you feel? Do you feel gratitude, or do you feel anger, heaviness, and loss? Damn, this is expensive. My salary is gone already. These thieves. Every time you pay with pain, you are cursing your money. You are impregnating those bills with the vibration of scarcity and loss. You are telling your subconscious, money goes away and doesn't come back. I am becoming empty, and that is dangerous. That emotion is an order. The subconscious obeys and closes the intake valves to protect you from the painful experience of having to pay again in the future. You have to reverse the ritual. You have to turn the act of paying into an act of blessing. The alchemical payment protocol. The next time you pay for something, even a coffee, do this mentally. Appreciate the service. You're not losing money, you're exchanging paper for value. Thank you for the electricity, thank you for the food. Bless the receiver. Imagine that money is going to help the waiter's family or the employees of the utility company. Wish them well. Decree the return. As you let go of the money, say internally, "Go, my friend, do good and return to me multiplied 10, 100, 1,000-fold. Pay with a smile. Act as if you were immensely rich. A rich person does not suffer when paying the light bill. They simply pay. If you fake that ease, you trick your reality. You create a clean void, not a painful one. Let's talk about the stingy. People who always look for the cheapest, even if it's bad. People who never treat others. People who split the bill to the last cent. Are they prosperous? Do they radiate light? No. Generally, they live in a constant grayness. They have money saved, yes, but their life is miserable. Stinginess is a declaration of faith in limitation. It is saying, the universe is finite. If I give this, I am left with nothing. The Creator is generous, not out of morality, but out of strategy. Generosity is the declaration of faith in the infinite source. To break the poverty pattern, you have to do things that scare your inner miser. Leave a tip larger than normal. Invite a friend to lunch and don't let them pay. Buy the best quality product, not the cheapest. You will feel vertigo. Your ego will shout, "You are wasting." No, you are investing in your vibration. You are buying the feeling of, "I am rich." That feeling is worth more than the $20 you saved by being miserable. Imagine money as blood. If blood accumulates in a single organ and does not leave, that organ bursts and the rest of the body dies of gangrene. Money is designed to circulate. It passes from your hand to the shopkeepers, from the shopkeepers to the farmers. You are only a passing station. If you try to stop the flow and keep everything, you become a cancer in the universal economic system. To heal itself, the system will isolate you or excise you, make you lose it all. To be rich, you have to be a high-flow channel. Millionaires don't have their money under the mattress. They have it invested, moving, creating companies, paying salaries. Money pours in and pours out. The poor person wants the money to come in and stay still. That is impossible. Lose the fear of seeing your account go down. If it goes down because you are circulating with purpose, it will return with more force. We already cleaned the physical closet in Chapter 2, but now let's look at it from economics. Having cheap or old things occupies the space of luxurious things. If your house is full of plastic furniture and low-quality clothes, there is no vibrational space for the exquisite. The law of the economic void suggests, reduce quantity and increase quality. It is better to have one pair of $200 shoes that make you feel powerful and last 10 years than 10 pairs of $20 shoes that hurt you and break in a month. The poor person buys twice. The Creator buys once and buys the best their current level allows. Make a void of mediocrity. Throw out the tacky. If you cannot afford the best yet, prefer to have the space empty. An empty wall is a request to the universe. A work of art goes here. A cheap painting is a statement. I settle for trash. Void has dignity. Trinkets do not. Many live with an empty wallet for fear of spending. If I carry money, I spend it. That is programming yourself for lack of self-control and scarcity. I propose a power exercise. Always carry a high-denomination bill in your wallet, $100, $100, euros, whatever is significant to you. It is not to spend it. It is to have it. Every time you open your wallet and see the bill, your subconscious receives the message, I have money. If you pass a shop window and see something you like, you can tell yourself, I could buy it right now if I wanted to. I have the money. You don't buy it, but you know you can. That feeling of purchasing power changes your vibration. You move from I can't to I won't. It's an abysmal difference. Furthermore, energetically, money calls money. An empty wallet vibrates in sterile void. A wallet with a seed bill vibrates in potential. Circulation must also be toward you. Most people pay everyone else first. The landlord, the bank, the supermarket, the government. And if something is left, they keep it. Usually, nothing is left. Message to the subconscious. I am last in line. I do not deserve. The law of the economic void demands that you create a tithe for yourself. As soon as you receive money, set aside a percentage, 1%, 5%, 10%, whatever you can. That money is for you, not for bills, not for debts. It is for your freedom, investment, or for your joy, pleasure. By doing this, you are putting yourself first in the energetic food chain. You are saying, I am the source of this wealth, therefore I eat first. Paradoxically, when you do this, the remaining money magically stretches to cover expenses because you have respected the hierarchical order. Why is it that sometimes when you need money the most, the less it arrives? Because need is not a magnetic void. It is a black hole. Need is a desperate cry of, I don't have. And the universe responds, correct, you don't have. The fertile void is different. The fertile void is expectant, it is calm. It is like setting the table for dinner. You set the empty plates, the cutlery, and the glasses. They are empty, yes. But they don't scream, hunger. They scream, ready for the banquet. Change fear for expectation. Expectation is the active form of faith. Poor people spend on entertainment. Rich people invest in learning. Spending money on a book, a course, a mentor, or your health is never a cost. It is a transmutation. You are converting paper currency into knowledge and energy. That knowledge will allow you to generate 100 times more paper currency in the future. Do not be afraid of being left without money to pay for a course that will transform you. That void in the account will quickly be filled with the new skills you acquire. The money you spend on improving your mind is the only money you take with you, and that no one can steal. Empty your pockets into your mind, and your mind will fill your pockets for life. To close this chapter, I'm going to challenge you to the trial by fire, the test that separates those who talk about metaphysics from those who live it. The next time you feel fear about money, the next time your account is in the red, give something. Take the little you have left and give a part away. Give it to someone who has less. Or buy someone a coffee. Break the logic. Logic says, save the little you have. Spirit says, prove you have no fear by sowing your last seed. The farmer who eats his last seeds because of hunger dies of hunger the next winter. The farmer who, even when hungry, throws his last seeds into the earth, into the void, ensures the harvest and life. It requires immense courage to throw the seed when you are hungry. But that courage is what moves the foundations of the universe. That act of radical faith creates a void so powerful and magnetic that heaven opens up to fill it. Don't believe me? Try it. Chapter 6. The Relational Void. Pruning the Social Garden. Imagine that you are a gardener. You have fertile land and you want to cultivate the most exquisite roses and the rarest orchids in the world. But your garden is full of weeds. There are brambles that prick you. There are parasitic vines that suffocate the flowers. There are dead plants that haven't borne fruit in years, but still occupy the earth. If you sow your precious rose seed in the middle of that brush, what will happen? The weeds will steal its sun. They will steal its water. They will steal its nutrients. The rose will die before it even opens. You are the garden, and the people around you are the plants. Some are flowers that beautify your life, but many, too many, are weeds. They are energy vampires, constant critics, professional victims, people who anchor you to the past, yet you refuse to pull them up. You say, but I've known him since school. But it's my family. But I feel bad leaving her alone. Your misunderstood compassion is the grave of your potential. You cannot fly with eagles if you spend your day scratching the ground with chickens. It is a physical, vibrational, and biological law. Welcome to the Relational Void. Today we are taking up the pruning shears. I warn you, your hands will shake. The ego will scream that you are a bad person, that you are selfish, that you will be alone forever. But you are going to prune anyway, because you know that the solitude of a king is preferable to the company of 1,000 energetic beggars. Only when you make space in your social circle can the masters, the divine partners, and true love enter. Jim Rohn said the most repeated and least applied phrase in personal development. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Analyze it metaphysically. It's not just that their habits rub off on you. It is quantum entanglement. When you interact with someone, your energy fields mix. You exchange information. If you spend 3 hours with a person who vibrates in complaint, illness, and poverty, by the end, you take a part of their density with you, and they take a part of your light. It is a transfer. You lose, they gain momentarily. If your inner circle is made up of stagnant people, your subconscious receives the constant signal that this is normal. Mediocrity becomes your standard. If you talk about big dreams with small people, they won't applaud you. They will attack you. Not out of malice, but out of fear. Your light reminds them of their darkness. The law of the relational void dictates, to change your vibration, you must change your environment. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. You must create a void of negative influences so that your own voice can grow stronger. The first step is to identify the toxic weeds. It's not always obvious. Sometimes the vampire disguises themselves as a good friend who needs help. Here are the archetypes you must prune without mercy. The eternal victim. Something bad is always happening to them. They use you as an emotional trash can. Action. Radical cut. You are not their therapist or savior. The realistic critic. The one who tells you to keep your feet on the ground. They are an envious person who wants to stop you. Action. Silence. Never tell a dream to a critic. The crab. In a bucket of crabs, if one tries to get out, the others pull him back down. They are the party friends who are offended if you decide to study or stay sober. Action. Change buckets. The anchor of the past. People who only talk about the old days. They force you to put on your old costume. Action. Leave them in the past, which is where they live. You don't have to hate them. You can love them and from afar. Bless them in the distance, but do not give them your time or your ear. Your energy is the fuel for your future. Don't waste it feeding the traumas of others. We come to the hardest point. What happens when the weeds share your DNA? What if the vampire is your mother, your brother, or your father? Society and religion have programmed you with guilt. Let's redefine this. Family is a biological contract. It is not a spiritual suicide contract. You didn't choose your family on this plane. The Creator honors vibration over biology. If a relative systematically humiliates, abuses, drains, or sabotages you, you have the divine right to distance. You don't have to stop loving them. But perhaps you have to stop seeing them every Sunday. Perhaps you have to stop telling them your plans. Many great quantum leaps in success occur right after a person becomes independent from a toxic family. By healing yourself and breaking the family pattern of poverty or pain, you are doing your lineage the greatest spiritual favor possible. Let's talk about partners. This is the biggest block to manifesting true love. Many people complain about being alone, but their life is full of almost somethings, exes with benefits, or lukewarm meanwhile relationships. Imagine your love life is a table with 2 chairs. You are in one. The other chair is for your divine partner, that ideal love you dream of. But right now, in that chair, sits your ex because you're still thinking about him. Or that friend with benefits who doesn't fulfill you but entertains you. When your divine partner arrives and sees the chair occupied, they keep on walking. There is no void. To attract the love of your life, you have to have the courage to be completely alone first. You have to kick the mediocre occupants out of the chair. It is better to have the chair empty and clean, waiting for the king or queen, than to have it occupied by a jester just to avoid seeing it empty. Void in love is a declaration of high standards. When you start pruning your social garden, something inevitable will happen. Silence. Your phone will stop ringing as much. Weekends will be empty. At first, the ego will panic. You will feel like a loser. You must relabel this experience immediately. You are not isolated. You are in spiritual quarantine. It is not loneliness, it is sacred solitude. It is the VIP zone. The universe has set you apart from the noise to work on you without distractions. In that social void, you will get to know yourself. You will read the books that will shape you. You will meditate. The person who does not fear solitude is invincible in relationships. They only stay with those who add value, never with those who subtract, because they don't need anyone to fill their holes. How do you get rid of old relationships? Do you make a dramatic scene? No. The Creator is elegant. Use the vibrational ghosting technique. You don't need to fight, you only need to withdraw your attention. Stop initiating conversations. Take longer to respond. Be kind but brief. I'd love to, but I'm very focused on a project right now I can't meet. Stop feeding the plant. Without water, attention, the plant dries up and falls on its own. In other cases, a direct cut is required. There, you use the sovereign no. No, I'm not going. No, I don't want to talk about that. No, this relationship no longer works for me. No justifications, no excuses. The no is a complete sentence. Here is the promise. The law of the void is infallible. The moment you create social space, a suction vortex is generated. You have raised your standard. Now you are a bright lighthouse in the middle of the darkness. And what happens to lighthouses? Ships look for them. New people will begin to appear. Mentors will appear to teach you how to grow. Friends will appear who celebrate your successes instead of envying them. This is your soul family. They are out there, looking for you. But they couldn't find you because you were hidden in the middle of the weeds. By pruning the garden, you make yourself visible to them. I will warn you of the last trap of the ego, nostalgic loyalty. You will think, but so-and-so was with me when I was doing badly. How can I leave him now? Listen, gratitude is not a life sentence. You can be grateful for what you shared in the past and still recognize that your paths have diverged in the present. Most people are for a season. If you are climbing the mountain and they want to stay in the valley, you cannot carry them. If you try, neither will you climb, nor will they walk. Both will fall. The most loving thing you can do is be an example. You climb, you shine. The relational void is also virtual. Your contact list, your friend list on Facebook or Instagram. How many voyeurs are there who only follow you to criticize you? Digital hygiene exercise. Take your phone, look at your contacts. If you see a name and it doesn't draw a smile or if it generates a contraction, delete. Reduce your list to the people who truly vibrate with you. In social media, stop following everyone who doesn't inspire you. Staying with 50 follows that motivate you is better than following 2,000 that distract you. Protect your feed like you protect your garden. End this chapter by visualizing your social life as a royal banquet. The table is set with the finest delicacies, but there are empty chairs, many empty chairs. Do not be distressed by the void. Look at those chairs with excitement. Say, these chairs are reserved for the giants who are on their way. Enjoy your own meal while you wait. Toast to yourself. Feel the peace of not having to endure stupid conversations, complaints, or drama. Relational void is the price of excellence, but the reward is a tribe of lions. It is worth walking a stretch of the desert alone to reach the land where your equals live. Release who releases you. Let go of your social baggage. Your future needs you light. Chapter 7. The Void of Time, the Trap of Being Busy. How are you? If I ask you this question, there is a 90% chance your automatic response will be, good, but so busy, running around, I have no time for anything. You say it with a mix of complaint and pride. You display your full schedule like a medal of honor on your chest. You believe being busy is synonymous with being important. You believe that if you stopped for a second, the world would collapse. I have news for you. Being busy is not a virtue. It is an escape. Being busy is not a sign of productivity. It is a sign of chaos. Being perpetually busy is the most sophisticated form of laziness. The laziness of not wanting to face the void of your own soul. You have filled every minute of your day with frenetic activity because you are terrified of silence. If you stand still in a line, you pull out your phone. If you have a free Sunday, you invent household chores. You have horror vacui, a horror of the temporal void. The Creator does not run. The Creator is in no hurry. The Creator knows that time is an elastic illusion and that history's greatest miracles did not happen in the midst of noise, but in the absolute stillness of the desert, the mountain, or meditation. Welcome to the void of time. Today we are going to commit a heresy against the modern world. I'm going to ask you to do less. I'm going to ask you to create black holes in your schedule. Imagine a rocking chair. It moves a lot. It goes back and forth. It makes noise. It requires energy to move, but it goes nowhere. Most people live in a rocking chair. They confuse movement with progress. You are doing things all day. You reach the night exhausted. But if you look at your life honestly, have you moved toward your dream? Or have you simply maintained the status quo? Frenetic movement is often a defense mechanism to avoid doing the one important thing that you are afraid to do. The law of temporal void says, to truly advance, you must stop the inertia. You must create an empty space of activity to discern the essential action. Less is more if it is the right thing. The sniper spends 99% of the time still breathing, observing the void. And in 1 second he fires and hits the mark. The rookie soldier fires a machine gun everywhere, makes a lot of noise, runs a lot, and hits nothing. Do you want to be the sniper or the machine gun? To be a sniper, you need to love the stillness. Imagine a book. If the text filled the page from top to bottom and left to right without spaces or margins, it would be unreadable. It would be an overwhelming block of black ink. What makes a book readable and beautiful are the margins, the white spaces. Your life is that book. If you fill every hour from the moment you wake up until you sleep, your life is unreadable. It has no margins, it has no air. God cannot write miracles on a page that is already black with ink. You need white space. The tithe of time. Just as you give a tithe of money, you must give a tithe of time to the void. I'm not talking about time to sleep. I'm talking about time awake to do nothing. When was the last time you sat in a chair without a phone, book or TV, just looking out the window for 20 minutes? That wasted time is actually the most productive time of your life. In those margins is where your brain connects dots and generates creativity. Why is it so hard to stop? Because you are an addict, literally. Your body has become accustomed to living bathed in cortisol and adrenaline. Haste gives you a chemical high. It makes you feel alive, alert, necessary. When you stop, the stress hormones drop and you feel withdrawal symptoms. You feel depressed, useless, bored. Your ego screams, do something, you're wasting your life. Understand that this voice is the voice of addiction. Our culture taught us that idleness is the mother of all vices. That is a lie. Conscious leisure is the father of all invention. Chronic stress is the father of all disease. You have to detox from urgency. You have to learn to feel valuable simply for being, not for doing. Your value is not in how many boxes you check on your to-do list. Your value is intrinsic. The sun is not busy shining. It simply shines. The tree does not stress about growing. It simply grows. All ancient mystical traditions impose a day of rest. The Sabbath. It is not a religious whim, it is a quantum technology. The universe was created in 6 days, and on the 7th, he rested. Why? Does God get tired? No. He rested to seal the creation. Metaphysically, when you are manifesting, you are launching energy, work days. But for that energy to collapse into matter, you have to pull your hand away. You have to let go. The Sabbath is the moment of temporal void where you say, it is done. I trust my mental work so much that now I allow myself to rest. Multitasking is the great fraud of modernity. You believe you are doing 2 things at once. You are not. Your brain can only focus on one thing. What you are doing is switch tasking. This burns glucose, lowers your IQ, and creates anxiety. And worst of all, it fills the void. If you listen to a podcast while cooking and talk on the phone while driving, you have eliminated the silence of transition. You have eliminated the present moment. You are never here. That absence of presence fragments your soul. The law of the void demands radical unitasking. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. Here is the practice. I want you to open your calendar. Look at your week. I want you to schedule a new block. Call it strategy, void, or meeting with the CEO. Block out 2 hours a week or 20 minutes a day. Treat it with the same importance as a meeting with the president. No one can interrupt you. It cannot be cancelled. What are you going to do? Nothing, absolutely nothing productive. You can sit. You can look at the ceiling. At first you will feel guilty. Then you will calm down. And finally, in that void, the vision will appear. In those 2 hours of void, you will gain more clarity than in 40 hours of dazed work. When you apply the law of the void, Sometimes the universe takes a moment to fill the gap. You left the toxic partner, and you are alone. You left the horrible job, and the new one hasn't called. You are in the hallway, between a door that closed and one that has yet to open. The hallway is dark and scary. Most people, unable to stand the hallway, turn back and knock on the old door. They go back to the X. You have to learn to inhabit the hallway of time. That temporal void is not a punishment. It is a decompression chamber. You are being recalibrated for the pressure of the new life. The hallway is time for preparation. The Greeks had two words for time: chronos. Clock time, linear, sequential, devouring; stress time, kairos. Opportunity time, the opportune moment. God's time, vertical and qualitative. The ego lives in chronos. The creator lives in kairos. In kairos, 1 second can be worth an eternity. In kairos, you are neither late nor early. You arrive when you need to arrive. When you forget about time, you enter eternity. Curiously, when you stop looking at the clock, physical time seems to stretch. You get more done. Time is elastic. It stretches with pleasure and shrinks with pain. I want to reclaim boredom. Look at children today. They are never bored because they have a tablet 24/7. Result, they have lost their imagination. Imagination is born to fill the void of boredom. Boredom is the mother of creativity. If you are never bored, you will never create your life. You will only consume the lives of others. Turn everything off on a Sunday afternoon. Walk through your house like a caged lion. Feel the discomfort, and observe what creative impulse is born from that desperation to do something. That impulse will be genuine. It will be yours. Boredom cleanses the mental palate so you can taste life again. We end this chapter with a takeover of power. Time is the only non-renewable resource, but you are not a slave to time. Time happens within you. You are the consciousness where time unfolds. Stop saying, "I don't have time." It is a lie. You have the same time Einstein had. The problem is the lack of priority and the lack of void. You are filling your time with trash. Today, decree your temporal freedom. Say, "I am the master of my time. I decide when I run and when I stop." Start saying no. Protecting your empty time is the purpose of this whole game. Chapter 8. The Identity Void, Killing the Old Self. There is an immutable biological law. The caterpillar must die so the butterfly can be born. There can be no caterpillar with wings. The caterpillar must shut itself in a cocoon, dissolve completely until it becomes an unrecognizable organic soup, lose its shape, its history, and its identity, to then restructure into a creature that does not crawl, but flies. You want to fly. You want wealth, love, and freedom. But you refuse to enter the cocoon. You refuse to dissolve. You want to tape plastic wings to your back and remain the same fearful caterpillar as always. This is why your manifestations fall apart. Because they are costumes, not mutations. No one puts new wine into old wineskins, for the old skins burst and the wine is lost. You are the old wineskin. Your current concept of yourself is the rigid container that limits your expansion. If you try to pour new wine, a millionaire's life or a great love, into your old wineskin, your identity of a victim or poor person, you will burst. You will self-sabotage. You will lose the money. You will ruin the relationship. The law of identity void dictates you cannot become who you want to be while you remain clinging to who you are. The space occupied by your old self is the only space where your new self can inhabit. One must leave for the other to enter. Welcome to your own funeral. Today we are not cleaning your house. Today we are erasing your name. Today we are killing the sad character you've been playing to leave the stage empty for the hero. Let's understand what identity is. You are not your name. You are not your profession. You are not your history or your traumas. Those are just garments that your consciousness, the actor, has put on. When you were born, you were naked of identity. You were pure I am, then society began to dress you. Then society began to... They put the label John on you. They labeled you shy. They labeled you poor. You have been wearing the same costume for 20, 30, or 50 years. It's dirty, torn, and smells bad. It has stuck to your skin so much that you believe it is your skin. You believe you are shy. You believe you are poor. No, you are acting shy. You are acting poor. It is a transitory state, not an eternal definition. The problem is that because you believe you are the costume, you defend it. When someone offers you an opportunity to shine, you say, "No, it's just that I'm shy." You defend your limitation. Why? Because the void of not knowing who you are is terrifying. We prefer to be a known loser than an unknown winner. The identity void requires you to strip. It requires you to take off the labels. It requires you to reach point zero where you say, "I am none of this. I am the consciousness that observes." The old self has a favorite food. It's sad story. We all have one. My father abandoned me. My ex broke my heart. You repeat this story to anyone who will listen. You repeat it in your head every night. That story is the cement that keeps the old self solid. It is your business card. It makes you feel special in your pain. If I take your story away, who are you? If I strictly forbid you from ever talking about your traumatic past again, what would you talk about? Many would remain mute. They have no other topic of conversation than their own suffering. The law of the void demands voluntary amnesia. You have to stop telling the story. You have to starve it. The old self survives through narrative. When asked about your difficult past, say, "That happened to a person who no longer exists. I have nothing to say about it." Create a story void. In that blank space you can write, "I am a fortunate, loved, and successful man." The most powerful words in the universe are "I am." What you put after those two words is your destiny. Your old self is made of crystallized negative decrees. I am messy. I am bad with numbers. I am sickly. These are not descriptions of reality. They are instructions to the subconscious. To kill the old self, you have to stop invoking it. You have to create a definition void. For a while, stop defining yourself. When you feel the urge to say, "I am always late," shut up. Swallow the word. Stay in the void of being. It is better to be nothing than to be something limited. In the void of "I am nothing" defined, you reclaim your infinite potential. When you begin to kill the old self and act as the new self, you will feel something terrible. You will feel fake. You will feel like a liar, a fraud, an imposter. You will dress like a rich person, and your mind will say, "Who are you trying to fool? You're broke." Celebrate that feeling. Imposter syndrome is proof that you are crossing the border. You are walking on the void between two identities. You have left the old shore, but you haven't reached the new one yet. It is natural to feel strange. It's like writing with your left hand when you are right-handed. Don't stop because you feel fake. The old self shouts imposter, so you return to the known cage. Tell the old self, "I am not an imposter. I am an actor rehearsing my new role until it becomes my character." Fake it until you are it. Create the void of current truth to fill it with desired truth. The subconscious mind loves rituals. To kill the old self, sometimes you need to bury it literally. I propose a powerful psychomagical exercise. The funeral ritual. 1. Dress in black or old clothes you are willing to throw away. 2. Sit in a dark room with a candle. 3. Write on paper the name of your old self and its attributes. Here lies Shy John, the broke one, the one who feared rejection. 4. Read its obituary. Thank it for what it did for you surviving, but say goodbye. 5. Burn the paper with the candle. As it burns, say, "You die today so that I may live. Dust you are, and to dust you return. Your time is over." Blow out the candle. Stay in total darkness, the void. Take off those old clothes. Get in the shower. As the water falls, imagine you are being born. You are a new being, nameless, without a past, clean, potent. Step out and dress in your best clothes. You have changed timelines. In the Bible, every time someone went through a radical spiritual transformation, God changed their name. Abram became Abraham. Jacob became Israel. Saul became Paul. I'm not telling you to go to the civil registry, but I am telling you to change your internal name. What do you call yourself in the secret of your mind? If you call yourself stupid or disaster, that is the name of your old self. Choose a new secret name. It can be an attribute, the magnificent, the unstoppable, the queen. When you speak to yourself, use that name. Dissociate from the error. The error belongs to the old habit, not your new identity. The hardest part of killing the old self are the witnesses. Your family and friends know the old self. They expect you to act like him. If you were always the submissive one and suddenly behave with authority, they will be annoyed. They will say, "You've changed. You're arrogant." Your internal response must be, "Thank God that's the point." Do not apologize for changing. They want you back in your box because your change threatens their stability. To create the identity void, you must be willing to disappoint others. You have to be willing to break the script they wrote for you. It is the price of freedom. There is a moment, just after killing the old self and before the new self solidifies, that is terrifying. It is limbo. You feel lost. You no longer enjoy the old things, but you don't have the new ones yet. You look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. Don't run. That vertigo is sacred. That void is the blank page. It is the moment of maximum creative power. In that silence, you can decide to be whoever you want. Hold the void. In Buddhism, this is called sunyata, emptiness. If you endure this space without panicking, the new self will emerge naturally as a fresh, glowing skin. Hernán Cortés, upon arriving in the New World, burned his ships. He told his men, "There is no turning back. To kill the old self, you have to burn the ships. You cannot have a plan B that involves returning to your old life. If you've decided to be a successful entrepreneur, you cannot keep the mentality of, 'Well, if it goes wrong, I'll go back to my miserable job.' That safety net is the noose that hangs you. Create a void of options. Put yourself in a situation where the only way out is success. Throw away the old clothes. Delete the toxic contacts. When the old self has no home to return to, it dies of starvation. When the only option is the new self, you become it at a dizzying speed. Imagine a throne room. For years, a usurper king sat there. Your fearful small victim ego. Today you have entered the room with a sword. You have dethroned the usurper. Now the throne is empty. There is silence. Your cells, your thoughts, and your reality are looking at the empty throne waiting. Who will sit there now? Do not rush to seat just anyone. Approach the throne, feel the responsibility, and sit down yourself, but not the small you. Seat the divine you, the creator you. The you that knows it is one with the Father. When you sit in that void, the entire kingdom will sigh with relief. Reality will reorganize to obey the new king. Chapter 9. Fear of the Abyss, Overcoming Horror Vacui. You have stopped watching the news. You have released money with faith. You have killed your old self. You have become empty. And now, you wait. You wait for the sky to open and gold bars to fall. You wait for the love of your life to knock on the door. You wait to feel euphoric. But nothing happens, absolutely nothing. There is only silence. A dense, heavy, and terrifying silence. Your external reality has not changed. In fact, it seems lonelier and colder than before. You no longer have the distractions of your old life, but you don't have the blessings of the new one yet. You are in no man's land, you are in the abyss. This is where the ego enters total panic. The ego screams, "You made a mistake, you've lost everything, you've gone mad, go back quickly, reclaim the old before it's too late." This moment, dear listener, is the trial by fire. It is the final exam of the law of the void. The Romans called it horror vacui, the fear of empty space, the compulsive need to fill the space because nothingness reminds us of death. But I tell you today, you are not dying. You are in the womb. And in the womb, before birth, everything is dark, silent, and apparently empty. If you run now, you abort the miracle. You have to learn to float in the abyss. Imagine a trapeze artist in a circus. He is holding on to one bar, his old reality. He swings. He knows that to reach the next platform, he has to grab the other bar, his new reality, coming toward him. But there is an inescapable physical requirement. To grab the new bar, he has to let go of the old one first. For a fraction of a second, the trapeze artist has nothing. He is not holding on to the old. He has not reached the new. He is floating in the air without support over the void. That second is the abyss. If in that second he panics and tries to grab the air, he loses momentum and falls. If he looks down in terror, he falls. Only if he maintains muscular calm and blind trust in inertia and the incoming bar will he achieve the transition. You are in that second right now. You have let go of the old self bar. But the new self bar, the money, the partner, the health, has not yet touched your hands. It is millimeters away, but you aren't touching it yet. You feel like you are going to fall. You aren't falling. You are flying. Mystics of all ages have spoken of this. St. John of the Cross called it the dark night of the soul. It is that period where the old light has gone out and the new dawn has yet to arrive. You feel disconnected. Your old tastes no longer satisfy you, but you have no new pleasures yet. You feel like a stranger in your own life. This disconnection is not a system error. It is system recalibration. Imagine they are updating your computer's software. During installation, the screen goes black. You cannot use the mouse. If you pull the plug out of panic, you corrupt the hard drive. You have to wait with the black screen. The abyss is your installation time. Your vibrational DNA is mutating. Do not try to falsely cheer yourself up. Allow yourself to be in neutral. Darkness is fertile. Seeds germinate underground in absolute darkness. If you dig up the seed every hour to see if it has roots, you kill it with the light. Let yourself be buried. You are growing. Have you ever wondered why, just when you need a sign the most, the universe goes silent? You ask for help and no one calls. You feel abandoned by God. Remember your time as a student. During classes, the teacher speaks and explains. But on the day of the final exam, the teacher remains silent. The teacher cannot talk to you. He cannot give you the answer. If he did, the exam would not be valid. The teacher's silence doesn't mean he is gone. He is there, watching, waiting to see if you have learned the lesson. The abyss is your exam. The universe is asking you, do you still believe you are wealthy and loved, or do you only believe it when you see the proof? Faith that needs proof is not faith. It is logic. The Creator operates by faith. Silence is your opportunity to graduate. Do not scream for help. Sit at the desk of silence, take a deep breath, and answer the question of life with your attitude. I know who I am, and I know this is done. One cause of vertigo in the abyss is that you look at your reality and see the opposite of what you imagined. You created a void for wealth, but an unpayable bill arrives. Why? Has the law failed? No. You are seeing the echo. Look at the stars. Some died millions of years ago, but their light is still traveling and you see it today. What you see is not the star's current reality, it is its past. Your 3D reality works the same way. What you see today in your bank account is the dead light of your thoughts from months ago. It is the residue of your old self. When the abyss shows you chaos, do not be afraid. Say, this is an echo, this is the past fading away. It has no power over me because I am no longer there vibrationally. Do not fight the echo. Ignore it. Walk through the chaos as if you were a ghost, untouchable, knowing your true reality is coming down the highway of time toward you. There is a biblical story perfect for this moment, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The angels tell Lot and his family, run for your life, do not look behind you. They flee. But Lot's wife, at the last moment, doubts. She feels nostalgia. She turns to look back, and instantly she becomes a pillar of salt. Salt is a preservative. It freezes things in time. Looking back is freezing. The abyss will tempt you to look back. Your mind will say, call your ex, at least you weren't so alone. Do not look back. If you look back, you become a statue. You stay petrified in your old identity. The abyss is crossed by looking straight ahead. Burn the bridges. If you feel tempted to return to the old out of fear of the void, tie yourself to the mast like Ulysses. Endure the anxiety. It is better to starve in the desert seeking the promised land than to die fat as a slave in Egypt. I promise you, you will not die in the desert. The manna will fall, but only if you keep walking. What do you do while you are in the void? Physically, you continue your routine of excellence. Mentally, you occupy the void with the feeling. Do not fill the void with anxiety. When will it get here? Fill it with anticipatory gratitude. Imagine you are in a luxury restaurant. The waiter has taken your order and gone to the kitchen. Now you have an empty table in front of you. Do you panic? Do you scream, I'm not going to eat? No. You wait. You drink your water. You are calm. Why? Because you know the chef is cooking. The void of the table is not the absence of food. It is the preparation for the feast. Occupy your mind with that feeling of savoring what is coming. Play with the possibility. Keep the table clean and wait with your napkin on. That attitude of serene expectation is the most magnetic force in the universe. It speeds up the chef. Sometimes the abyss is not silent. Sometimes it is chaotic. You ask for peace and the washing machine breaks. You ask for money and you get a fine. The ego says, I have manifested in reverse. No. Understand the engineering of reality. To build a skyscraper where a shack stands, you must first demolish the shack. Demolition is noisy. It raises dust. It looks like a disaster. The architect says, I am clearing the ground for the foundations. Those sudden problems are the controlled demolition of your old structure. You get fired, Dallas Itaro. The universe pushes you to start your business. Your partner leaves the Dallas Itaro. The universe removes the obstacle so your soulmate can enter. Do not judge the rubble. When you see chaos, applaud. Say, fantastic. The demolition has begun. That means construction is underway. Thank you, Father, for clearing the ground so quickly. Laughing at chaos disarms the devil. It turns fear into faith. To survive the abyss, you need to develop the skin of an elephant. You need to practice radical indifference. This means withdrawing your validation from the physical senses. Your eyes lie to you. Your bank account lies to you. Only your imagination tells the truth. When the 3D world shows you scarcity, look at it and say, I don't care. Shrug your shoulders. Oh, look, a debt. I don't care. It is not denial. It is a withdrawal of importance. You take away the emotional weight. You take away your energy. What you ignore disappears. The monster of the abyss feeds on your fear. If you look at it and yawn, it starves and vanishes. Most people give up when they are 1 inch away from the gold. The darkest moment of the night is just 1 second before dawn. If the abyss feels unbearable, if you feel you can't take it anymore, rejoice. That means you are hitting the final membrane. Resistance is at its maximum just before the breakthrough. It is like childbirth. The most painful contractions are the last ones. If in that moment the mother says, I give up, it would be a tragedy. She has to push one more time. You are in the labor of your new life. That unbearable pressure is the baby's head crowning. Push. Hold the faith for 1 more minute. Do not give up now. You have swum too far to die on the shore. Chapter 10. The Law of Filling, Divine Compensation. Listen, do you hear it? It is the sound of rain. For a long time you have walked through the desert. You have endured the drought. You have emptied your wineskins. You have thrown away your ballast. You have walked through the abyss in silence. And now the sky has darkened, not with a threat, but with a burden. The clouds are heavy with blessings, and the first drop has just fallen. The law of the void has a second part that no one tells you about, because few have the courage to get this far. The first part is, the universe abhors a vacuum. The second part is, the universe fills the void with a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It is not a fair exchange. It is not you throw away an old chair and receive an identical new chair. That would be human commerce. Divine commerce operates by multiplication. You throw away an old chair and you receive a throne. You release a copper coin and you receive a gold mine. Welcome to the law of filling. Welcome to divine compensation. Today you will learn how to open your arms to receive the avalanche without letting it crush you. Today you will learn to recognize the miracle when it knocks on your door, even if it comes in disguise. Today you will learn to live in a permanent state of grace. Understand this mechanically. When you create a void, physical, mental, or emotional, you generate a low-pressure suction in the fabric of reality. It is like when you stretch an elastic band backward. The further back you stretch it, the deeper your void and renunciation, the greater the accumulated potential energy. When you let go, the band does not return slowly. It shoots forward with violent force. The time you spent in the abyss, in that silent wait, was the time the universe was stretching the spring. It was accumulating momentum. Now that the tension is released, the manifestation does not arrive walking. It arrives running. Often it all comes at once. Suddenly you get the dream job call, you meet the love of your life, and you heal from your allergy, all in the same week. It is the tsunami effect. Do not be afraid of the speed. You have been asking for this. Do not say, it's too much. Say, yes, more. I have the capacity for this and much more. Many make the mistake of expecting the new to be a slightly improved version of the old. You expect your new partner to be like my ex, but without the yelling. You expect your new job to be like the last one, but with a 10% raise. What an insult to the Creator's generosity. When God fills a void, He does so with a higher quality of vibration. There are no patches. There are upgrades. If you threw away polyester clothes, do not expect new polyester. Expect silk. If you left a toxic relationship, do not expect a normal relationship. Expect a soul connection. The universe always seeks to raise the standard. Evolution is the law of life. Life always wants to be more, better, richer, more beautiful. Therefore, raise your expectations. Do not look at the empty space in your garage and think of a used car. Think of the car of your dreams. The whole has the shape of your desire, not the shape of your past. Keep the mold large. This is where most fail at the finish line. The filling arrives, but it doesn't look like what you imagined. You asked for wealth, and suddenly you get a business idea that requires work. Or you get a dismissal with a severance package that allows you to invest. You expected a sack of bills falling from the ceiling. You reject the idea, curse the dismissal, and ignore the book. You have rejected the filling. Miracles rarely arrive in gift boxes with pink ribbons. They often arrive in dirty cardboard boxes or disguised as problems or coincidences. The Creator has eyes to see the essence behind the form. That person you just met in the supermarket line might be the partner who will make you a millionaire. That setback that made you miss the plane might be the synchronicity that saved your life. The law of filling requires active vigilance. Everything that arrives after the void is suspected of being a blessing. Listen to your intuition. There is an internal thermostat in your psyche called the upper limit. You are used to a certain level of happiness and money. When the law of filling acts and you receive a massive dose of goodness that exceeds your usual limit, your nervous system panics. You feel too good. Subconsciously, you think, something bad is going to happen. I don't deserve this. And then you self-sabotage. You fight with your perfect partner for no reason. You spend money stupidly. You get sick. You do something to lower your happiness level back to the safe and known zone of mediocrity. Stop. Recognize this mechanism. When you feel that life is too good, do not look for the other shoe to drop. There is no shoe. Breathe. Expand your capacity to receive. Tell yourself, it is safe to be this happy. It is safe to have this much money. This is my new normal. You have to stretch your container. God has no limits to giving. You have limits to receiving. We have been taught that it is better to give than to receive. That is a half-truth. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same energetic coin. If you do not receive, you stop the flow. You deny the universe the pleasure of giving to you. Many of you are excellent givers but terrible receivers. When the filling arrives, you feel guilt. That guilt is a retaining wall. If you reject the gift, the universe stops sending it, not out of punishment but efficiency. Why send packages to a house where they are always returned? Learn to say thank you and leave it at that. Accept the money, accept the love. Your enjoyment is the best form of gratitude. How do you ensure the filling doesn't leave? How do you prevent the money from flying out? With the glue of reality, gratitude, but not submissive gratitude. I'm talking about appreciative gratitude. It is the act of deeply valuing what has arrived. Money stays where it is valued and respected. Love stays where it is celebrated. When abundance arrives, take a moment each day to touch it, look at it, and thank it. Thank you, money, for being here. Thank you, clean house. Energy goes where attention goes. If you put your attention on what has arrived with love, it multiplies. If you ignore it or complain that it's not enough, it will wither. What you appreciate, appreciates in value. Here is the final trap. Once you are filled, once you have the new house, the money, and the love, you will be tempted to cling. You will be afraid of losing what you have gained. You will start hoarding again. You will stop throwing away the old. You will become conservative to protect your treasure. Careful. If you do that, you go back to chapter 1. You become stagnant again. You become the Dead Sea once more. The law of the void is not something you do once. It is a respiratory rhythm. Inhale, receive the filling. Your right arrow, enjoy the oxygen. Your right arrow, exhale. create new void, iwaitaro inhale deeper. The day you stop letting go, you will stop receiving. Now that you are full, your responsibility changes. Your cup overflows. What do you do with the liquid falling over the edges? Do not let it waste. Water others. Your abundance should serve to lift those around you, not by giving them arms to keep them in poverty, but by giving them light, example, and opportunity. Your success is living proof for others that the law works. You don't need to preach to them. You just need to shine. When they ask you, how did you do it? Teach them how to empty themselves. Give away this knowledge. Become an agent of providence for others. Sometimes you are the filling that the universe sends to fill someone else's void. I want to leave you with a mystical image. Imagine a bamboo flute. For the flute to sound and create divine music, it must be completely hollow inside. If the bamboo were full of pulp, the air would not pass. There would be no music. Its emptiness is its virtue. You are God's flute. The emptier you are of ego, fear, resentment, and trash, the purer the music that life will play through you. Your mission is not to make the music. Your mission is to stay clean and hollow so that the divine breath flows without obstruction. To be hollow is to be transparent. It is to allow the perfect will to manifest instantly through you. Dear listener, dear creator, we have reached the end of this journey, but the beginning of your real life. You look around. Perhaps you still see clutter. Perhaps you still see a low balance. But you are no longer the same. You know the secret. You have the master key, the void. You are no longer afraid to lose, because you know that losing is the condition for winning. You are no longer afraid of loneliness, because you know it is the threshold of real love. You are no longer afraid to spend, because you know you activate the flow. I invite you today, right now, to perform your first act of conscious void. Turn off this audio and go throw something away. Go forgive someone. Create a space. And then sit and wait with a mischievous smile, knowing that you have set in motion the most powerful machinery in the galaxies. Do not believe me. Put it to the test. Challenge the universe. Say, I did my part. I made the void. Now it's your turn. Surprise me. And I swear to you, by the law that holds the stars, he will answer you. Thank you for joining me on this path. Stay empty, stay open, stay blessed. We are paths of knowledge, and remember, the void is not nothingness. The void is the space where God signs his name.